There's reason for celebration today. A hero has been let out of prison. And I do mean a hero, wrongfully imprisoned. The wrong person went to prison. The people that should have gone were the ones who got her convicted. Oh, we're talking about Tina Peters. Great news. Hey, I'm having a party tonight. We're going to night services. And my wife and I are going to go out and celebrate. I am so happy. We'll see down the road after this lady gets situated. We'll get her back on the show. In fact, maybe Scotty Sachs and I will do a dual interview with her. We both interviewed her a lot in the lead up to her trial, but we're going to tell you about the case. We're going to tell you about what happened, and we're going to tell you about some of the despicable public figures in Colorado. And this is not hyperbole. I mean that sincerely. I am so glad to be gone from Colorado. Oh, I miss my friends and family. I miss the beautiful state of Colorado. I had a great childhood growing up there, but the leaders that are there now, well, let's put it this way. Some of them who leave because they can't stand the corruption have actually gone to settle in other states. How do I know? Because I've talked to them. They're afraid to stay there. That's how bad it is in this state. It's as bad or worse than Cal. No, it's in the neighborhood of California. Okay. Hey, let's bring on something here because I love to bring you opportunities, and we don't do investments here very often. This was our first, and I'm looking at a couple others because this has been such a hit. People absolutely love this, and we're talking about Kirkstone Metals, uranium. We have a 98% national deficit. The Energy Department's thrown in $2.75 billion into the project. And I'm going to introduce you to a really small company, comparatively, $10 million company playing in a neighborhood of $250 million companies. And they're kicking butt and taking names because you can get in cheaply. But here's what they got. This is absolutely phenomenal. They have two 100% owned Athabasca Basin uranium projects, which is either arguably they're one or two in the world. And they got two. And you can get in and be an investor because uranium's needed for what? High tech, military. It's time to get on board with this. Go to a free presentation where no one's going to harass you. Just watch it and go, hey, this is for me, or it's not. But I think you ought to really take a look at it. KSM-presentation.com/The Common Sense Show. And between the words The Common Sense Show, you have to put dashes. KSM-presentation.com, and then dashes between The Common Sense Show after the slash. Kirkstonemetals.com is where you can go. Great opportunity, folks. Well, let me take you to something else here. We're going to see if we can't dig this up here and play a clip. I'm so disgusted. Okay, so we're taking a look here from Yahoo News. I can't play the clip there because of copyright, so I'll have to go through some of what you're seeing. Colorado Governor Jared Polis on Friday commuted the sentence of election conspiracy theorists. Don't you get sick of these journalists that have to interject their editorialism all the time? Okay, let me tell you what happened. Tina Peters found anomalies in the election results. She was the county clerk and recorder of Mesa County. That includes Grand Junction surrounding areas. It's her duty to make sure the election goes off as it's supposed to, her legal duty. Well, she didn't know how to duplicate the vote images so she could check for validity. So she brought in an expert, which was her right to do it. You're allowed to subcontract out. Every state department, every state has departments where they always contract out. She brought in an expert. They looked at it and they found a problem. Uh-oh. And this is when the state of Colorado came in, shut it down, had her immediately arrested because you don't dare expose anything we might be doing wrong. And Jenna Griswold was the main person under investigation for this. She was then the Secretary of State in charge of elections. And then they started a smear campaign against Tina. There were over 700 articles in the local Grand Junction paper. Hey guys, nice yellow journalism. You should use your paper to housebreak the dogs. It was ridiculous. 700. And the lawyers for her, in my opinion, were so incompetent, they didn't press for a change of venue. And if you did, you sure didn't make a big deal about it because I watched that trial. There should have never been a trial there. And the judge, well, we know he's in the hip pockets of the liberals in Denver, including Polis and Jenna Griswold. Jenna Griswold one day is going to get prosecuted. I'm telling you, she lives on that side of the law. Polis isn't much better. Tina was 70 years old, Gold Star mom. Get the idea? Right? She was sentenced to 9 years for improper access of election equipment that she was in charge of to make sure it was functioning correctly. 9 years. No probation, no parole, no nothing. She was held for a while in solitary confinement, got terribly sick. They didn't treat her. She was kept in inhumane conditions. I mean, this is a lot like the J6 people and the conditions they were held in. That happened at Peters. We're lucky she didn't die. So, continuing here in this article, the Colorado Appeals Court, of course, it's Colorado, upheld her conviction, but ordered her to be resentenced because the judge who sent her to prison wrongfully punished her for speaking out about election fraud. It was her job. If she thought there was election fraud there, she had a duty to speak out, and she was punished for First Amendment right and also doing a professional duty. Does this tell you what Colorado's like, people? Don't you go against the system. Remember, this is the same state where Jared Polis, the governor, said, we don't have any TDA here. Meanwhile, people like me were publishing the home photos sent to us from apartment dwellers with people carrying sniper guns and all assorted kinds of weapons taking over apartments in Aurora on Colfax Avenue, right next to the McDonald's where I had my first job. And Polis, well, what TDA? What Transviagua? Well, then the feds came to town. They started busting these people in places like Commerce City, the north part of Denver, Colorado Springs. Yeah, this was a problem. But this governor said, no, see no evil, hear no evil. There's nothing wrong here. We love to have criminal organizations in our country, particularly ones from foreign countries that bring in drugs and violence. If you think I'm getting carried away, folks, this is all factual. Okay, now, Jenna Griswold, who should, in my opinion, be behind bars, said it's a dark day for democracy. Selling out our state's justice system for Trump is an affront. No, she said, I found things that were wrong and they need to be addressed. And she got punished for saying that. It should have gone to Griswold. Griswold said, well, we need to cover this up or we're going to come after you. But Tina knew that would happen, so she spoke out. And she told me too, knew that she was facing problems once she got a reaction. She thought because she found the problem and did it legally, she'd be okay. Yeah, so much for the justice system, right? Gubernatorial candidates weighed in. A Democrat, Michael Bennett, and they know how their feelings are. He said that Peters knowingly broke the law. No, she didn't break the law. This was a kangaroo court. She was duty bound to investigate, and she did it legally and above board and with witnesses. A Republican candidate for governor, Senator Beverly Kirkmeyer, said she would have preferred that the trial judge revisit Peter's sentence as ordered by the appeals court before the governor considered a commutation. Can you say uniparty in Colorado? Yeah. Colorado, Arizona, California, uniparty. So Trump lambasted Polis for calling him a scum, and he called him a scumbag governor. Okay, I don't usually get to those adjectives, but I can't disagree with the president's characterization. He referred to Peters as elderly and sick. Yeah, very sick. I think they actually wanted her to die because her condition was exposed by family members and the state officials just ignored it. Tina Peters, declining health in prison. Peters' lawyers said her health had declined in prison. Peters, who had been part of part of her right lung removed in 2017, started coughing frequently after the prison's heating system was turned on for the winter, and she had trouble sleeping on her mattress because of chronic pain from fibromyalgia. This is called cruel and unusual punishment. I hope there's a lawsuit about the way she was treated. The Federal Bureau of Prisons tried but failed to get Peters moved to a federal prison. We'll treat her more humanely. Well, we're not going to stop her sentence, but we don't want her to die. But the state of Colorado, who I think wanted her to die, turned down the offer. Let's just torture her. Well, no, I'll stop there. Um, Polis defended his decision on Friday in a social media post. I always stand for free speech. No, you don't. You're a Democrat. And to make sure we live in a country that no matter what your viewpoints are, you are not incarcerated longer than them. Tell that to the Aurora City Councilwoman who told you, Polis, that there was a problem with TDA in her city, and you called her out publicly and shamed her and said, we're going to take a look at you. So don't give me this free speech crap. Contrast other Democratic governors, Polis, who prides himself on being a political iconist, took an accommodating stance towards Trump. Well, that's a bunch of crap because let me tell you what Trump was doing. He was withdrawing projects. He moved the Space Force from Peterson Air Force Base in Colorado Springs to Huntsville, Alabama. He said, I'm going to take stuff away from you for doing this. You have an obligation to make sure your elections go off with a hitch. And when someone finds a problem, you're not going to throw them in prison, not on my watch. So he started taking away disaster funds. And I support this. I support this because this was a total miscarriage of justice, a misuse of the system. And I'm glad to see that Trump went after them with every means to his disposal. And finally, Polis, being the person that he is, not very strong-willed, said, Uncle Trump, please stop, please stop. Okay, okay, we'll let her out. That's why she's free. It had nothing to do with the free speech issue. And I believe the majority of her crime was tied to calling out the election integrity. Now, you people in Grand Junction, I have a message for you. You have a newspaper up there that published 700 articles defamatory, had her convicted before she was even indicted. It's a lot like the Tyler Robinson case. I'm telling you, if you want to get the newspaper, that's fine, but use it as it should appropriately be used to housebreak your dogs. I'm Dave Hodges. Tina, we love you. You know how much Scotty Sachs and I and Sarah, we supported you. We know how angry we were. We reported on your prison treatment when we found out about it. I know Scotty had a conversation with her when she was in prison. It just broke my heart to hear it. She is a quality, quality person. And the people of Mesa County were lucky to have her. And do you know why she got into this business? I'll say this before I close. She didn't go into this to find problems in the election system. She stood in line one day for 3 hours at DMV and she goes, I can do better than this. And this business owner ran for office on that notion. I'm going to make it more efficient, more convenient for you people. She wasn't intending to find this, but when she did, she was duty bound. And the system you can judge the reasons why, came down on her for daring to say anything could be wrong with the system. I'm Dave Hodges, and on this day, the good guys won. President Trump, hats off to you. Good job.